Now let's get on to understanding the factors that can cause a shift in the LM schedule. The first factor is increase in the quantity of money or money supply. Basically here we're talking about. So this is our money market, this is our money supply curve, this is our money demand curve, the position of which is determined by the level of income in the economy, which in this particular case is Y0. So money demand, money supply intersecting at point A, and here we are having equilibrium rate of interest as R0. Alright. Now what if the quantity of money goes up? Money supply in the economy goes up. So definitely money supply goes up. Money supply exogenously determined variable. Central bank has infused cash into the economy. So let's say from M0S it has gone up to M1S. That's it. This is quite simple. Now what would happen? Alright, so if based on the case number 1, R0 and Y0 as the rate of interest and income, we have either way gotten our LM curve, that is LM0. R0 is here, Y0 is here, and point A is here. That's it. Now when money supply goes up, two things can happen. If we want to keep rate of interest at R0, we don't want to change the rate of interest, then only way we can re-equilibrate the money market is by increasing the level of income in the economy. Because if level of income in the economy goes up, then transaction balance would go up. So money demand would again be equal to money supply. So if we want to keep the rate of interest as R0, and that is only going to happen if income goes to Y1. They haven't shown this increase in income case here, but we can on our own draw this thing. Just we need to draw any point that cuts this MS1 curve right here. So we'll be seeing if R0 stays the rate of interest, then Y1 would be our income, and that's how we are seeing a rightward shifts in the LM curve. But what if we don't wanna change the level of income, we want to keep the level of income as Y0, then how we're gonna be making sure that equilibrium is re-established in the money market? Then it's a simple case. The money supply exceeds money demand, rate of interest would fall, and that's how speculative balance in the economy would go up. So simply here we are seeing that level of income stays Y0, but interest has fallen to R1. So here is our case point number B. Y0 is the level of income, interest rate has fallen to R1, and that's how we are seeing downward shift in the LM curve. So what we have understood from this is that the factor that can cause a shift in the LM schedule is the supply of money or the quantity of money. If quantity of money goes up, LM curve would shift rightwards or downwards. That's it. And why? We have seen why. Alright. Now there is one more factor, and that is the demand function, money demand function. This is very, very important. Here we are talking about money demand function. What if despite the level of income not changing, despite the rate of interest being the same, still if money demand in the economy goes up, then we can say that money demand function increases. Money demand is different from the money demand function. Here we are keeping level of income and rate of interest as constant as given. In case number 1, we have seen the increase in the level of income can bring about equilibrium in the money market. That's how rate of interest would stay as R0, but level of income would be at Y1, and that's how there would be rightward shifts in the LM curve. Alright, but here in this particular case, we are seeing that level of income stays constant. It is Y0 here, Y0 here. Alright, still based on the same very level of income, based on the same very rate of interest, still money demand has gone up, and this is why we are calling as a shift in the money demand function. That's it. Alright, so how then equilibrium would be re-established in the money market? Let's say originally it's MD0, which is at Y0 and R0. That's it. This is our point number A. Now income does not go up. Definitely this is what we mean by shift in money demand function. Rate of interest does not change. Still money demand has gone up. There is shift in money demand function. Now how to re-equilibrate the money market? This can happen if interest rate goes up. When the rate of interest goes up, it would put a downward pressure on the speculative balance. We know the speculative balance decreases when rate of interest goes up, because it's an inverse relationship between the speculative balance and rate of interest. This is quite simple, and this is something that we already know. This is just the application of knowledge that we already know, right? So it's quite simple. rate of interest would go up, speculative balance would fall, and this is how again money market supply would be equal to money market demand. That's it. So this is our point number B. Income stays at y0 because money demand exceeds money supply. It would put upward pressure on the rate of interest, and that's how LM curve would shift upwards. R1 would be our new equilibrium rate of interest. But what if we don't want to change the rate of interest? We want to keep the rate of interest as R0, which is right here, R0. Then, although it's not been shown here, this got highlighted. Alright, so the curve is not being drawn here, but we can draw it on our own. We don't want to change the rate of interest. Then what is the way forward? We need to simply make sure that income level falls to its original level. Income level falls all the way, not the original, because original is either way y0. Income somehow falls from here till here, so that money demand curve shifts downward, so that we are having original level of interest. So if this happens, then we can say LM curve would shift leftwards, and we'll be seeing a fall in the income. It would be here. Income has fallen from y0 to somewhere over here, because we don't want to change the rate of interest. This is what have happened. So this is really simple. What can cause a shift in the LM schedule? Number one, change in the quantity of money, and number second, change in the money demand function. If money demand function shifts rightwards or shifts upwards, then LM curve too would shift upward but leftwards, because money demand is not a good thing. You can try understanding in a very illogical but practical manner that demand for money, too much demand for money is not good. It could be good. There is not logic attached here. It's just to memorize the things. So if this is happening, then either way it's gonna somehow be keeping upward pressure rate of interest, and that's happened. LM curve would be shifting upwards, and if you don't want to change the rate of interest, we want to keep the rate of interest as a constant, then we have to simply reduce the income level in the economy, and when that happens, automatically transaction demand for money would fall, and we would be seeing the re-equilibrium in the money market, wherein income has not changed. Rate of interest is the same one, but income has fallen from y0 to somewhere here. We can call it y1. That's it. So this was really simple. So we have seen everything that was needed for LM schedule. You can try reading the Freud on your own, because it's really important. Let's get on to the IS schedule now. We are talking about the product market equilibrium here. So this is either way simple. Equilibrium level of income condition is this in the product market, where Y, that is aggregate demand, comprises of consumption component, investment component, government expenditure component. Or we can keep it in this way as well, where we just have to make sure that injections in the economy are equal to leakages. We know investment, government spendings or expenditures, they are injections, and savings and taxes, they are withdrawals. So injections equal to withdrawals. This is how we got the level of equilibrium in the economy. This is second way of writing it. Let's omit the government sector from here. I am explaining this fast because either way we have studied this thing extensively, intensively, in a very detailed manner. We're talking about one of the chapter of the Freud. This is just a revision sort of thing here. So if we are omitting the government sector, then we are left with only investment and saving. Here, investment R means investment dependent upon rate of interest, and SY means saving is a function of income. It's either way simple. More the income we are having, more we would be into saving. If we are into saving, that only means that we are having more of income, right? When income falls, we will be saving less. And interest is also a function of rate of interest. It means higher the rate of interest, lower will be the investment in the economy, because interest rate is the cost of the investment. So higher the cost, lower will be the investment. This is just like apples are expensive, we will be buying less of apple. That's it. So this is quite simple, and this is not something that we are keeping a focus on right now. This is our focus here. We need to understand this thing in a detailed manner. This is the primary part. So here we have to construct the IS schedule. Alright, so number one, this is quite easy. Onto x-axis it's investment, onto y-axis it's rate of interest. If rate of interest is R2, investment demand would be this. If rate of interest falls, investment demand would go up. I mean, this is quite simple. Interest rate is a cost of investment. If cost of something is going down, people would be demanding it more, right? If let's say instead of rate of interest, you're writing prices of apples here, instead of investment, we're writing quantity of apples here. So higher are the prices, lower would be the quantity demanded of apples. Lower are the prices, higher would be the quantity demanded of apples. Similarly, same is the case with the rate of interest and investment. Higher is the rate of interest, lower would be the investment demand. Lower the rate of interest, higher would be the investment demand, and this is how we got downward sloping investment curve. That's it. Now we know in the equilibrium, in the economy, in case of equilibrium, investment demand would be equal to savings. But we know saving is dependent upon level of income in the economy. If suppose we want the investment to be I2, let's say rate of interest in the economy is R2, that's how we got the investment as I2. Now this is the level of investment. This much from here to here. We want the investment to be this, and we also want in savings to be this, because this is how equilibrium would be established. So this is our saving here, this much. So this portion's length and this portion's length is the same. Here I2 is equal to S2, but for savings to be of this much proportion, we need certain amount of income. Let's say this is, let's say 50 is the investment and 50 is the saving, and 50% of income is saved. So for saving to be 50, we ought to be having 100 rupees as income. Then only if we save 50% of income, we'll be coming at 50 rupees as saving, right? So this is how saving would be a proportion of the income, and we just call as marginal propensity to save. But let's just not complicate the things now. Just keep in mind that saving is not to the fully that savings are not to the full extent of income, it's a proportion of the income. So that's it. 100 is the income, 50% of which would be saved, and for saving to be 50, we need to be having 100 as income. This is how we have arrived at a point wherein we know the rate of interest R2, we know the level of investment I2. That's how we got to the income based on which we got the saving. So this is our point number 1. R2 stays here, Y2 stays here, we got point C. Let's say rate of interest has fallen from R2 to R1, we'll be getting the new investment as I1. We also need to have saving up till S1, and this can only happen if the level of income in the economy goes up, because it's a higher level of investment, so we need higher level of savings. For that we need higher level of income. So this is how it has turned out to be Y1, and that's how we got point B, R1, Y1. Similarly, we can draw R0, I0 and S0 and Y0. This is how we got point A. Joining all these points, we'll be getting downward sloping IS curve. So now we have gotten product market equilibrium. So on to all these points, we are having equilibrium between the interest rate and income. So this is it. This is just a product market equilibrium. If we're gonna combine it with the LM schedule, we'll be seeing simultaneously equilibrium of the money market and product market, but let's just not deviate now. So up till now, we've just seen how to derive the IS curve. It's really simple. If you're getting any sort of confusion, please read the things on your own, and still if you're getting confused, then write in the comment section. I'll try to explain it more. Alright, now we will be seeing what determine the slope of the IS schedule. This too is really simple. First factor is interest elasticity of investment. So what determines the slope of the IS schedule? Whether it would be flatter, it would be steeper. There is some factors that determine this very thing, and number 1 is interest elasticity of investment. This has been explained extensively well in this very book, so let's just proceed as per here. So in case number 1, we have investment schedule, here we are having saving schedule, and here we are having IS schedule. Alright, let's say R1 is the rate of interest in the economy, and no matter which curve we're talking about here, investment curve, in both of these curves, although the I hash or I star 1 is the flatter, simple I is the steeper, but this thing does not matter as of now. No matter what curve we're talking about, either way I1 is our investment demand, and based on which we are getting S1 as our saving, and that's how we got point Y1 here, and that's how we got our point A here. R1, Y1, point A, that's it. Now let's see if the interest rate has fallen from R1 to R2. Let's talk about a flatter I investment curve here. Flatter investment curve simply means that interest elasticity of investment is high. The moment interest rate falls, investment's gonna get changed extensively because it's really very responsive to the changes in the rate of interest. This is what we mean by high interest elasticity of investment. 2-3% ही इकोनॉमी में इंटरेस्ट रेट कम हुआ है, लेकिन लोगों ने बहुत ज़्यादा इन्वेस्टमेंट करना स्टार्ट कर दिया. पीपल आर वेरी रिस्पॉन्सिव. इन्वेस्टमेंट डिमांड इज वेरी रिस्पॉन्सिव टू द changes in the rate of interest. This is what we mean by this, and this is why it is flatter. The moment interest rate falls from R1 to R2, investment demand extensively goes up from I1 to I2 because we are talking about the flatter I curve here. Alright, when investment demand goes up to I2, it simply means saving 2 need to go up to S2. This distance from here to here is same as this distance from here to here. Alright, but for savings to go up from here to here, we need to have an income which is Y2, because saving is just a proportion of income. Let's say marginal propensity to save is 0.5. To make it more simple, let's say 50% of the income is saved. So in income, if let's say investment was rupees 10, it has gone from rupees 10 to rupees 50. So for savings also to go to 50, income has to go to rupees 100. So this is the very logic behind this entire thing. The moment income goes to 100, 50% of which is rupees 50 would be saved, and that's how we'll be seeing investment in the economy again equal to saving, and that's how we'll be establishing point C in this very photo. So joining A and C, we'll be getting a flatter IS curve because Y2 stays here, which is here, and R2 stays here, which again is here. So this is our point number C. Joining A and C, we get an IS curve which is flatter. Let's see second case where IS investment schedule is steeper. So here the investment demand is not very responsive to the changes in the rate of interest in the economy. अगर 2-3% रेट इंटरेस्ट कम भी हुआ है, बट पीपल आर नॉट वेरी रिस्पॉन्सिव. इन्वेस्टमेंट वो बढ़ा ही नहीं रहे हैं. सो इन्वेस्टमेंट हैज़ गॉन अप जस्ट फ्रॉम I1 to I2. So similarly, saving 2 need to go up just from here to here. And we know 50% of the saving is saved. So let's say investment has gone up from rupees 10 to not rupees 50 but rather rupees 20 only. Saving 2 need to just go up from rupees 10 to rupees 20, and income just has to go up from till rupees 40 because 50% of 40 would be 20. So instead of income going from the rupees 100 which was in case number 1, it just needs to go only till 40 rupees. That's it. So Y2 is our second point here. So Y2 is here, R2 is here, and B becomes our next point. Joining A and B, we get an IS curve which is quite steeper. So what we have studied is really simple. Intuitively, again, it's easy to understand because the product market is something that we often encounter in our real life, unlike the money market, which is quite shrouded in mystery. So again, this is how we can understand because people are very responsive. So again, we cannot always write that people are responsive. We have to use certain technical words. So the technical or good word here is interest elasticity of investment. So what determines the slope of the IS schedule? It is determined by the interest elasticity of investment. Higher the interest elasticity of investment demand, flatter would be the IS curve. Lower the interest elasticity of money demand, steeper would be the IS curve. And why? We have seen why. Alright. Now there is one more factor here, which is marginal propensity to save or simply saving function. This again can be understood intuitively, and here in Freud they haven't really drawn any elaborate diagram, but we can draw it on our own if question is asked onto this, which is easy. So people have a tendency to save money. Let's say they have a very high tendency to save money. The moment they are supplied with the additional income, they're gonna immediately increase their saving extensively. Most of the income, additional income, they're gonna be saving. That's it. So what does it has to do with the shape of the IS curve? So we can understand it with the help of an example. Maybe not an example because it's really simple, and examples gonna necessarily complicate the thing. Let's say we really need to increase our investment from I1 to I2, which is S2. Okay. And for this we have to increase our income to Y2, as we have already seen. But what if people are too much into saving? That moment income goes up, they immediately save maximum part of that very income. So maybe we really don't need to increase our income from Y1 to Y2. Rather, even if income goes up from Y1 to somewhere over here, immediately people's gonna be saving this much and we will be getting back to our equilibrium in the product market. So in this very case, the saving curve would be, or saving schedule would be steeper. Right? Why do we need to increase the income? Just because a proportion of income is saved and that's how saving is made equal with the investment. But what if people are too much into saving, right? Then we really don't need to increase income to the greater extent. Simple minimum increase in income again gonna be bringing back the equilibrium, because people are either way into too much saving. We are focusing on income just because saving is a function of income. We need to make sure that saving is equal to investment. But I think this much explanation is enough. It's really simple. It's like earlier we used to be needing to increase income from till rupees 100 because 50% of it was saved. But what if saving rate is 90%? Then we really don't need to increase income to 100, because increasing income to 100 would mean we are keeping saving as 90, which is not needed. We need investment as 50, saving too has to be 50. So increase in income would be to the lesser extent than it was earlier when the saving rate was less. But now because saving rates are high, so this is it. So this is really simple. Please try reading the entire book on your own. Crux of the story is marginal propensity to save determines the shape of the slope of the IS schedule. Higher the marginal propensity to save, steeper would be the IS curve, and that is it. Why and how, this I have already explained, and if you have gotten confused, please pause a bit and try reading Freud on your own. It's really good book. You will be getting a complete hold over everything in a very, very good manner. So we are done with the slope of the IS schedule. Next is factors that shift the IS schedule, but we'll be doing this tomorrow, and that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.